I was talking to my boyfriend about YouTube, specifically how YouTube people seem to have a catchphrase or an intro to the beginning of their channels, like how video game channels always seem to say, what up gamers? And so I was like, what would you call a community of people who are into clay? And my boyfriend goes, I don't know, claimers? Yes, absolutely, yes. So, what up, claimers? Hi, I'm Bree, and welcome back to Baby Animals in Halloween Costumes. That's it, that's the video idea for this week. No real purpose or long-winded explanation this time. It's just simply my peak interest at the moment. One of my favorite baby costumes is the pumpkin sack. I'm a big fan of this costume. It's classic, it's nostalgic, it's always seemingly way too large, like the pumpkin has overtaken your baby and your baby is gone. It's also kind of like an all-encompassing bubble, so if your kid rolls off the couch, it's all good, they're protected, and I love that. So this week I just want to make like a little jack-o'-lantern baby, and I think the baby should be a penguin. Period. All right, let's make that. Okay, we're back at it. I'm getting into my last bit of clay from this box. I actually feel kind of accomplished for sticking with one specific hobby this consistently, because normally I feel like I get inspired to do something artful, I make it, it's fun for like a second until I realize that I hate everything I've ever made, and then I just kind of shove it in a closet, try to forget about it, but this time I'm actually having fun and I want to keep doing it. So yay me. Yeah, we're making a penguin, but you already knew that from the intro. I'm gonna keep the figure's body pretty simple. I'm finding that simple shapes are easier when it comes to the painting portion, and I think the normal body of a penguin just lends well to this design. Its body is sort of the same shape as a good beefy jack-o'-lantern anyway, so we're just playing into that. I'm attaching an oval head shape here onto this squashed, chunky body blob. I've added a thin coil of clay around the neck, not to blend those pieces together, but to just serve as a collar of the pumpkin costume. I'm trying to give the illusion here that the costume has really swallowed up our little burb. He's barely poking out, Now I'm going around with a pointed tool here, carving out some indentations in the pumpkin suit, and smoothing those over with a wet paintbrush to clean up any loose clay or rough edges. Instead of making this a hooded costume, I'm doing a separate headpiece for the pumpkin, and by headpiece I mean a hat. It's a hat. I'm making a little cone-shaped hat and adding a little coiled trim onto the bottom of that hat as well to match with the bodysuit. And since I don't want these pieces fully blended together, I'm just making sure I fill in all the gaps with some of the slip that's congregated in my water dish. This is that real wet, goopy clay that will help smooth over those seams so it doesn't crack in between drying. I've also made two little leaves to adorn the top of the hat. Looking back, I wish I had made these leaves look more like actual pumpkin vine leaves, but what can you do? Like I said, I was trying not to overly complicate this for myself and just enjoy the process. I've attached two little feet onto the front of his costume, and if you're wondering how he could possibly walk like this, the answer is he cannot. Moving on. I'm adding a little flappy wing onto each side of his body, and you'll notice I'm not using any wire. Yeah, if you watched my last video, you know that I was traumatized by the wire and decided not to use any on this figure and just see how things played out. And it played out fine, yeah, or at least I felt like all these pieces here could really just be secured on their own. last touch with the clay here. I've added a little beak onto the front of his face, and then we're gonna fast forward 2 days later, and this baby's ready to paint. This guy had no cracks in him at all. What a big boy. So proud of him. I'm gonna get the surface all prepped with white acrylic paint here, and then these are all the colors I picked out to use. Wow, riveting. I chose to paint his costume first, as I really didn't have a plan for his face at this point. I did a nice vibrant orange for his costume with a lighter peachy orange on the trim. I've mapped out his face with a pencil here, and now I am going to fill it in with black paint. My dilemma was really that I wasn't sure how I was going to paint this guy. Like, should I do just the classic cartoon penguin look with the black markings and the orange beak and the orange feet? Or should I go with more of a realistic baby penguin in the gray color scheme? Why am I really questioning my realism approach when I'm making a penguin dressed as a festive gourd? These are all hard-hitting questions that I'm asking myself. After painting his hat, I felt like the costume was looking more like an orange than a pumpkin, so I tried to blend in some darker orange into those creases of the outfit to make it look more like a pumpkin, and I do think that helped. Here I'm struggling to decide how to paint this penguin. Ultimately, I decided that it's a baby penguin, so we're gonna paint it like a baby penguin. I'm switching those wings to gray, and I'm gonna paint the feet and the beak in black. I'm going off this reference photo from Google. Look at that little man. Oh, I love him. He's so cute. And I already like how this looks, so I'm gonna keep it like this. We're just gonna give him some big bug eyes and also paint a happy little jack-o'-lantern face on the front of his outfit. And I'm a big fan of rosy cheeks, so let's throw some of those on there. Both faces. Why not? Oh, look at him. He's blushing. Poor guy. He's got anxiety. Now I am going to sign and number the bottom of my figure, and then immediately give it some nice juicy highlights on the pumpkin. And yeah, did not wait for that bottom to dry. Patience? Nope, don't know her. We're gonna fix that up real quick and then get ready for the gloss. Gloss them up real nice to protect that paint job. And voila, he is ready. Usually names easily pop into my head when I'm making a creature, but I just wasn't getting a clear name for this baby. I just started calling him Giuseppe, mainly because there's a contestant on this season of the Great British Bake Off named Giuseppe, and I just can't stop saying the name, frankly, like with peace and love. Giuseppe. Anyways, if you'd like to adopt Giuseppe, I will leave a link in the description box below to my Etsy shop, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye!